Hey, how's it going, my friends? My name is Joshua, and welcome back to the Nerd Life. And welcome to the first episode of Nerd Discussions, which will be a series of discussion videos talking about my favorite video games, movies, TV shows, and favorite cartoons and toys growing up. And I'm starting this series off with one of my favorite TV shows, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Now, I'm not going to go into detail on every episode of every season because that will take way too long. But what I want to do is talk about my favorite episodes and moments from the series. Starting with season one, just one of my favorite moments would just have to be getting to know each character throughout the season. The main ones, Buffy, Willow, Xander, Giles, Cordelia wasn't very enjoyable to get to know because she got on my nerves. But Xander's one I related to the most because he reminded me of myself. Very dorky, witty, kind of like me. But yeah, that was pretty much a really great moment in season one. My favorite episode would have to be a episode called Nightmares, where this kid is in a coma and he astral projects, and when he does that, he brings the nightmare world with him. And everyone in Sunnydale starts experiencing their worst nightmares in real time. There was a moment where Xander showed up to class in nothing but his boxers, which apparently is one of his nightmares, typical nightmare. There's one where Willow has to sing opera in front of this huge crowd, and she freaks out, which was pretty funny to see. Which not one of my phobias too. Yeah, and there's a moment where Xander is being chased by this clown because he had a traumatizing experience when he was a kid, involving a clown at his birthday party. Apparently he's been having nightmares about it, so it came true. He's this part where he's running through his school halls being chased by this clown with a knife, and Willow and Giles ends up joining with him, and they're all three running, and all of a sudden Xander just stops, and he's like, and he just turns around and decks the clown, knocks him the fuck out. That was pretty funny, and starts talking about how bad of a clown he was and how his balloon animals sucked. But all in all, it was a really great episode, and yeah. But season two, one of my favorite moments would have to be when Angel became Angelus, because honestly, I liked the character of Angelus a lot more than I did Angel as far as Buffy goes. I think I want to say, yeah, he got better as when he got his own series, Angel, which I really enjoyed as well. Because I really started to like his character then because they gave him more character. It's just they gave Angelus way more character than they did Angel on Buffy. But anyways, yeah. So he had this curse placed on him where he got his soul back. And if he experienced one moment of true happiness, he loses his soul and becomes Angelus. And that's exactly what happened. Buffy ended up giving him that one moment of true happiness, and he became Angelus. And he was just like, he was very, very evil and sadistic, but I enjoyed his character a lot more than I did Angel. But one of my favorite episodes from that season, I think would have to be, I think it had to be when Spike shows up. Yeah, because I really like Spike. He's just like one of those really cool villains that you really don't want to hate. But yeah, the episode where Spike comes in, Spike and Drusilla, that was one of my favorite episodes. He comes in and basically takes over shopping from the Anointed One, which was which came from season one. Yeah, he pretty much killed the Anointed One and took over, and basically was out for the He was the big bad for a while in season two before Angel became Angelus. But yeah, his attitude and his uh, sarcasm, can't even talk. uh, yeah, he just that really made me like that episode a lot, and I love Spike still to this day. He's one of my favorite villains, and slash heroes as he becomes throughout the series. But yeah, season 3, my favorite moment would have to be well, my favorite episode, because my favorite moment is in this episode, was when uh, what's her name? Anya. She's like this wish demon or whatever. She tries to get Willow to do a spell to get her powers back so she can become a demon again because she gets turned into human. But she ends up, damn it, what's that? Oh, she ends up bringing Vampire Willow from that alternate universe, and pretty much, Vampire Willow was really cool, by the way. She came into their universe, and Buffy and Xander thinks it's actually Willow who's been turned into a vampire, so they're all sad and feeling awful. And then the real Willow comes in, and they freak out. And then Angel comes in, and he freaks out when he sees Willow because he just saw Vampire Willow at the Bronze, which is a popular nightclub in the series. But yeah, they pretty much they end up sending Vampire Willow back to her universe because she is trying to cause havoc. Like her universe, Sunnydale is basically overridden with vampires. There's no Slayer, and yeah, it's pretty much hell on earth. And she's trying to make it that way on their universe, and they have to stop her. And instead of killing her, they agree to just send her back to her universe. But it's just a really great episode. Vampire Willow, like I said, it was awesome seeing that version of her character be more sadistic and twisted and out there. But yeah, it's such a really great episode, and one of my favorite moments in that was when she came face to face with the real Willow, and they were like trading puns and stuff, and she shoots her with a tranquilizer dart, and puts her to sleep and steals her outfit so she can pretend to be Vampire Willow, and that doesn't work out very well. But yeah, that was a good episode and some great moments in that episode. But season 4 was when Willow and Buffy, they end up going to college, and along with Oz. So season 4 was all right. It wasn't one of my favorite seasons, but I did one of my favorite episodes of all time on that season is the Halloween episode, because it's freaking Halloween. I love Halloween. And they're having this haunted Halloween attraction at one of the college dorms, or frat house, and one of the college people accidentally summons like a fear demon, and he pretty much takes control of the house, and everyone's fears are coming true, including Buffy and Willow and Xander and Oz. Their fears are starting to come true. The house is just doing weird stuff because of this demon, and it's just a really cool episode, really fun. And when they finally come across the demon, he's like coming up through the floor, and they make it look like he's all big and bad, and then suddenly he's like ends up being like this small. He's like really tiny demon, and they're all looking down at him like going, oh, look at how cute he is, and he's like trying to be all badass and threatening, and Buffy just steps on him. That was really cool, really funny moment. But yeah, that was definitely one of my favorite episodes. And my favorite moment though would have to be at the end of the season where Buffy's fighting the main villain, which is a hybrid demon of demons. He was created with different demon parts, like a super soldier, basically, super demon soldier. And Willow, Xander, and Giles has to do this spell where they transfer their mind, heart, and magic to Buffy, and Buffy becomes even more superhuman than she already was. So she has to battle Adam that way, and it's just really badass because he starts trying to shoot her with a Gatling gun that he has on his hand, and she just waves like this, and the bullets turn into doves, and and he tries to go in and do hand to hand since he figured out that wasn't working, and Buffy becomes Ultra Instinct Goku and just starts dodging every single one. He's trying to punch, and she's just dodging every single one of them, and she starts hitting him a couple times, gets him against the wall, and just puts her hand straight through him and rips out his mechanical heart. And she's just sitting there staring at it while he falls over dead, and she makes it float, and it just freaking disintegrates, and it's gone. Just by her looking at it. Like, that's so fucking badass. But yeah, that was really definitely one of my favorite moments of the series. Even though the episode Hush was a really great episode, I mean, it was nominated for an award back then, so it was like a silent episode where these creatures called the Gentlemen take over the town. And they take everyone's voice so nobody can hear them scream when they come after them. And the Gentlemen are freaking creepy as hell. They're like really creepy. But yeah, that was a great episode. Wasn't my favorite, but still a great episode. But season 5, my favorite episode would definitely be the Dracula episode where Buffy actually comes face to face with freaking Dracula. Like, you can't get no better than that. It was just a really great episode, and the guy who played Dracula did amazing. I mean, he should have been in a Dracula movie because he just did a really great job. Xander ends up becoming like his Renfield, basically eating insects and calling him master. That was funny to see. But yeah, that whole episode was cool. The fact that Buffy stakes him and he turns into dust, and then he comes back and she stakes him again. He turns into dust again, and then he tries to come back, and she's like, "I can still see you," or no, she's like, "I'm still here," and and then smoke just freaking like floats away, and you never see Dracula again. But apparently he's still alive somewhere. But yeah, that was my favorite episode of season 5. My favorite moment would be the season finale. I think what was actually supposed to be the series finale, but fans didn't like the way it ended, so they ended up bringing it back for 2 more seasons. But basically, Buffy having to sacrifice herself to save the world. The big bad of that season, which is a ancient evil god named Glorificus, and they called her Glory. But yeah, she opened a portal that would merge every hell dimension with Earth, and basically like be the end of the world. And Buffy has to stop it, and so she kills Glory, but the portal's already been opened. So the only thing she realizes that she has to jump through the portal and sacrifice herself to close it. And it was a really sad moment, of course, because Buffy dies. But the fact that she sacrificed herself to save the world was just a really great moment, and I think it's one of my favorite season finales of the whole series, honestly. Yeah. That and the next season, which I'll talk about here in a minute. But yeah, that was definitely my favorite moment. And I'm saying definitely a lot in this video. I'm going to try to stop that. But yeah, so season 6. So they end up bringing the show back on a different network, and season 6 is a little bit more weird than the other seasons. There's a lot of weird stuff that happens, but my favorite episode, I think it's called Tabula Rasa or something. It's like a spell that. Anyway, Willow does this spell called Tabula Rasa. I can't pronounce it, but yeah, she does this spell where she tries to get her girlfriend Tara to forget about this argument they had, because she didn't want to argue anymore. So she used magic, which she was become addicted to in that season, which was not sitting well with any of her friends. They tried to tell her that she needed to stop, but yeah, so she ends up doing this spell, and it ends up backfiring, and everybody ends up losing their memories, including her. So they don't know who they are, they don't know who each other are, and it's actually really funny because they come up with their own names, and Spike is wearing this jacket that says property of Randy, so he thinks his name is Randy. You know, he's British, so he's like, and he thinks Giles is his dad, and Giles thinks that Spike's his son, so they're like arguing, and he's like, you named me Randy? Why not just name me Horny Giles or Desperate for a Shag Giles? It was really funny. Just that whole episode was great. And Buffy thought her name was Jane or Joan, and she realizes that she's like some superhero, and she's like all giddy and stuff. It's just a really great episode, really funny. But my favorite moment is Xander ends up being the one to save the world at the end of season 6 instead of Buffy, which I thought was freaking amazing how they did that. But yeah, Xander, basically Willow goes evil after something tragic really happens. Really tragic happens is what I meant to say there. Something really tragic happens in her life, and she goes straight to the dark power and just turns, like, she's Dark Willow. She's evil now, and she's trying to destroy the world, and Xander has to be the one to talk her down and talk to her, basically. And yeah, he ends up being able to talk to her about some of the things that they did in their childhood and some of their greatest moments, because they've known each other since they were like 5 years old, and he was able to talk her down, and she just breaks down, starts squalling, becomes Willow again, and Xander saves the world, and I just thought that was really awesome. And yeah, but yeah, that was definitely awesome. I did it again, definitely. But yeah, one of my favorite moments of that season. Season 7, which is the final season, which definitely not my favorite, but I would have to say my favorite episode would be the series finale, where they do battle in the Hellmouth with all the what they call Uber vamps and stuff, which there are millions and millions of, and Willow does this big spell that turns all the potential slayers into the actual slayers. So now there's a whole bunch of slayers, and they all go to war in the Hellmouth. Well, not all of them, but the ones that they had with them, they all go to war with the Uber Vamps and the Hellmouth. And the big bad, which they're calling the First, which honestly I think is basically their version of Lucifer, because it's the first evil and stuff like that, and that's what they talk about. But yeah, it's basically just Lucifer. And but yeah, they have to go in this big battle, this big final battle. Spike ends up getting his soul back at the beginning of the season, so he has to be the one to wear this special amulet that is supposed to just be able to destroy the Hellmouth, along with Sunnydale, which happens. After they evacuate everyone in the town, and they're doing the battle, Spike realizes he has to sacrifice himself with that amulet to save save the world and destroy the Hellmouth. And that's what happens. This giant beam of light comes down on the amulet and basically turns him into ash and destroys the whole town of Sunnydale along with the Hellmouth. It does destroy the Hellmouth for good, as Buffy and all the others that survived the battle escaped the town in a school bus of all things. But yeah, they escaped just right in time for the whole town to just basically cave in. But yeah, that was one of my favorite episodes of that season. And my favorite moment would have to be when her and some of the potential slayers have to go on this treasure hunt for this ancient weapon that is the only thing that could kill this just demon dude dressed like a priest that comes into town. He's like the first right hand man, and he's like all powerful, and the only thing that can kill him apparently is this weapon. It's supposed to be like one of the first weapons ever forged. It's like this really ancient weapon. The only thing that bugged me about it was when they found the weapon, it looked way more modern than it needed to. It's supposed to be an ancient weapon. It was a battle axe. It was like this metallic red and silver, and it looked like a freaking Power Ranger weapon, like the Red Ranger battle axe or something. It was just way more modern than it was supposed to be. But yeah, anyway, one of my favorite moments involves her having that axe, and then she's battling the demon dude, and she takes the freaking axe and plunges it into his balls and just swipes up with it, splitting him in two, freaking Mortal Kombat style, which was so awesome. But yeah, that was a great moment. One of my favorite moments of the season. It was just so badass the way she just split him in two. But yeah, Buffy the Vampire Slayer was just an amazing series to me. It is, I'm gonna say it again, one of my favorite series of all time for a reason. I love this freaking series. I had to get this DVD box set too, by the way. I just got it a little over a month ago for a really good deal. But yeah, I just absolutely love it. And but that'll do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments if you're a Buffy fan, and if so, what are some of your favorite moments of the series? I would really like to know. And thank y'all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and stay tuned for more content.